Yo, welcome to Baggy TV. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad to see so many of you commenting before the actual stream starts. I've been reading your comments. Some fantastic comments in there, and Chelsea perspective was here earlier. I know me and him are clashing right now on our content, so I do apologize for that. Sadraki, where's Sadraki's comment? I'm going to go through some of the comments before we get into the discussions of this video because you guys commented and I want to give you your dues. I mean, Sadraki, please not the Ziyech thing again. Listen, mate, I'm not the one that's creating it. I'm just the one talking about it because apparently what's his name? Jan Arg thinks that Ziyech is going with Callum and Tammy. So I'll be discussing this. I'll be talking about this. Fuad Hassan, you giving up on what? You're giving up. No, I hope not. I hope not. I really do hope not. Because if that is the case, we're in trouble. If that is the case, we are in trouble. Marina she's gonna frustrate us again. She's gonna frustrate us again, and I hope she frustrates us, but she gets the job done. No issues there. If Marina can get the players that we're supposed to be getting, she can frustrate us. Jordan Brennan. What's Jordan Brennan saying? Dortmund have agreed personal terms. Okay, well, yeah. Dortmund. Listen, lads. Dortmund know they're gonna have to replace Haaland either this season, next season. So, wouldn't be surprised to see them making moves now or even later. And Jordan Brennan, I appreciate you for subscribing. Thank you very much. Listen, if it's your first time here, as I can see by your comment, and look, mate, this is a forum to talk about the Chelsea news. We're all going to be discussing, talking, sharing our thoughts and ideas. None of us are experts. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just like you. But I have a platform to discuss my points and opinions, and I want to give this platform to all of you to discuss. Don't know. Listen, Bobby, mate, I'm waiting for you. Where you been? Where you been, mate? Jump on. We got a lot to talk about, Bobby. Jump on. Listen, lads. There is a link in the pinned comment. Any one of you can click on that, and you can jump on here and have a discussion and a chat with me and whoever else is on, because we're gonna discuss all of these. We're gonna discuss all of these comments. Julius, my man. Wagwan, walk 2, 3, jump on, Julius. I wanna hear your thoughts and opinions. Conor Gallagher, Newcastle tweet. Listen, there's a lot of news. We're gonna be discussing. I don't believe this. Listen, I've got a guy jumping on right now who I've literally DM'd a million times to jump on in previous streams. He didn't turn up. The day I don't DM him, he's in here. He's here. Jim, welcome to the stream, my man. It's not allowing me to add you. Why? Why is it allowing me to add you? Yo, Jim, how are you? I'm good. The day I don't DM you, you turn up.
Just streamed myself for the last couple of days. I've been so busy with work and stuff. It's just put me behind. But I've been watching you guys, watching yourself and some others, just to try and keep up to date with things. And trying to get back into the whole YouTube creating thing. You know what it's like. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah,
to continuously be on, isn't it? You know,
yeah,
it's mad.
especially when you have international fixtures and then you're going back to club football. It's a little bit funny because players like Jorginho, they were playing against you and now they're back on your side, and it's a little bit different. Jem, what do you make of all the hype that's been going around the past couple of days?
I still feel like I mean, I still feel like we're in the same position. I don't know about you. I don't really feel like we've took any steps forward. I know there was little bits here and there coming out. I know, was it Christian Falk that actually said that, he'd had words with Haaland himself, and he kind of said, when he mentioned Chelsea, about going to Chelsea, he was very tight-lipped. He didn't say a no or a yes. It was just very like a naughty grin, as they say in many ways. But,
Yeah.
you know,
No comment. Yeah.
it's weird because, you hear that, and then on the other flip side, you've got, reports coming out of Germany at the moment saying that there's 5% chance of him actually leaving Dortmund, which is very small, So it's like, where and what do we do? But however, they did say that if Chelsea did lay an astronomical bid down, 175, 200 mil, then it would maybe tempt Dortmund. So it's one of them ones where it's like, he ain't going anywhere. If we're 5% sure, it's 5% chance. However, if Chelsea decide to throw that money down, which is what I think we're all waiting for, let's be serious, we've been waiting for the last 2 odd weeks for us to just do the same thing. Obviously, the Euros was on, and we knew Chelsea weren't going to act then, but now it's gone. I think in the next week from what I've been told, in the next week to 10 days, you're going to see something from Chelsea, hopefully. So let's see.
Yeah. The incident this morning, apparently I'm not sure if it was Christian Falk who posed the question, but I think it was Christian Falk who reported on it. He said Holland was asked in respect to the Chelsea interest in him, would he be staying at Dortmund for this season? And the lad just smiled, grinned, and walked off. So, I mean, you can make a lot out of it, and you can make nothing out of it because what is he supposed to say? Is he supposed to say, "Yeah, I'm going"? No, I'm staying. Because he doesn't want to please some people and disappoint others. He doesn't want to, hurt his interest. So I think he did the right thing, and just by just smiling and walking off. And in regards to the the other stories, because there's a lot of talk, especially after what we saw today in the Fabrizio Romano and the Jan podcast. A lot of things were raised and a lot of things were talked about that are kind of interesting. And I've got a good panel here today, so we're going to be discussing all of these things. We're going to be discussing Hakim Ziyech, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Tammy Abraham, and obviously Erling Haaland in today's stream. We're going to be talking about the different scenarios that we could be faced with, and what is the positive, negative outcomes of each of these scenarios. Lads in the chat, keep your questions coming in, keep your comments coming in, and also I wanna just remind everyone, I've recently started a membership function, facility, whatever it is, on my YouTube channel, and I've literally just started a couple of weeks ago. You get some emojis, you get some badges when you join. Depending on how many people join it, I might start doing some content specifically for the members. So if you want to support Baggy TV, click on that join button, and I think it's like $2.99 or something. So just think about it, lads. Julius, Eric, DJ Sav, and Bobby, welcome to the stream.
Big up, guys. How you all doing? You all good?
Yeah, good, DJ. Hi, guys. Hey, Baggy.
Big up, everyone.
Big up. Eric, how are you? Are you on mute, or can you talk?
Yeah, I should be fine. Hopefully you can hear me.
We can.
Yeah.
Loud and clear. I always like how crisp your audio is, Eric. I don't know what it is. You must have some really expensive mic, man.
Yeah, look, I had to. I decided to invest in a better setup. So the stuff I'm using is it's not cheap. It's not cheap.
You might want to share some video, man. I want to see the setup of yours, man.
Right. Okay. I could do that.
All right. Sweet. You do it now, or you can do it in a minute?
Yeah, just give me a few minutes. Yeah.
All right, I'll give you a few minutes. I'll give you a few minutes to comb your hair and get your things together, man. I know what it's like. Listen, lads, I want to discuss firstly, in general, the podcast that we just saw between Fabrizio Romano and Jan Arg-Foytov, and the points that they kind of made and the points that they kind of didn't make, because from my personal impression was that Fabrizio Romano wasn't really saying much. He was more in the realm of, yeah, this could happen, that could happen, but he didn't really say what was going to happen. So I want to get your perspective on this. So I'll start with Julius. Julius, how did you see that press conference? So how did you see that podcast, and what did you gather from it?
Oh, what a position you put me in.
You didn't see the podcast, did you?
I didn't.
All right, lads. Who saw the podcast?
Not me, because I just got back.
All right.
I saw.
Yeah, I saw some of it.
I saw some.
All right.
Enough.
All right, let me hear your points of view on what you saw. I'll start with Bobby.
Yeah. The truth of the matter is, I think it's more about what wasn't said than the little that was said. I think Jan Arne Fjordov is a friend and close family associate to the Haalands.
The Hollands, yeah.
And at this point, he's not going to be the person to be spilling all the beans of a confidential deal. So he's going to be releasing semi-informations and in some cases even disinformations. So I think he's come to about the limit to which he can talk. And Fabrizio Romano, because of how confidential this deal is, has been shut out. This is just my perception, by the way. I think I'm quite frustrated by the deal, like everybody else. You know, each time I tell myself, oh, gosh, I'm not going to talk about this anymore, then suddenly Baggy streams. And, of course, I can't resist Baggy. Here I am. But, you know, it's just boiled down to one thing and one thing only. If Roman drops the money, he gets the player. I've thought about this in so many which ways. And it just comes to, look, if I come to you and tell you I'm going to give you 20 quid today or 10 quid next year, what would you take if you're a businessman? You know, and the amounts that will be going to the likes of Mino Raiola, his father, and other agents, to my understanding, is coming out of this overall fee, as it will come out of the overall fee of the release clause, which means it's the money given to Dortmund for Dortmund to pay these people. If I'm correct, this is how I understand it. This is how a lot of the recent rumours I've been getting are alluding to.
I don't think
that's the case.
I don't think that's the case. I think in respect to the release clause, that's the money that will be paid to Dortmund. In respect to where Haaland decides to go, is who can entice him the most. So, you know, Real Madrid might come along next season and say, you know, this is for your dad, this is for your agent, this is for, you know, for you, and this is for the club. Jump on. While Chelsea might come in and say, look, you know, this is the release fee, this is, you know, a good contract for you, but your dad and your agent, you know, you can share this sum. And it might not be as much as Real Madrid, and then, you know, Erling Haaland will then turn around and say, look, I'm going to Real Madrid. So, you know, that aspect of it does play a part, and I think it'll play a bigger part next season than it does this season. I think this season, if Chelsea give Borussia Dortmund the fee, which is what's been discussed, £150 million or 180 million euros, there will be a fee paid to the agent because that's how Mino works. There will be a fee paid to his dad because apparently his dad also has some sort of influence in regards to his son's career, which makes sense because Erling Haaland is still a young lad. But I don't think there will be a lot of competition in respect to that. So whatever we're going to decide to pay, you know, they will ask for a little bit more. We'll give them a little bit more, and that's it. We move on.
I've got one more thing to throw into the hat
Go
with
ahead.
this.
Go ahead.
And that is that I understand that, is it FIFA or the football authorities are looking to cap money being paid to agents. So it's beneficial, if that's the case, for Mina Raiola to get his payday on this deal now.
Well, it would make sense if there is going to be a cap put on. Do you know when that cap is going to come into play? Is it next season? Is it?
I'm hearing yet again, just like everybody else, just picking bits up here and there, but I'm hearing it's next season. So the long and short of this all is that, look, if Chelsea want this guy, they just have to put their money where their mouth is and take him. That's, it's really that simple. Complex, but that simple. That's all it boils down to.
I agree. Fabrizio Romano, welcome to the chat. DJ Sav, what's your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I think it's echoing everything Bobby's actually just said. I mean, I think from what I heard of the podcast today, it seems like nothing seems to be in place. And as Bobby's already alluded to, I don't think Jan would know too much on the whole situation, even though obviously he's close to the family of the Haalands. But for what I'm gathering, it seems like...
Sorry, DJ, just to interrupt. I don't think Bobby was saying he doesn't know. I think he was saying he can't really say much.
Reveal
Too much. Yeah, so what I'm saying is echoing the same thing she's saying. And I just think that if, from what I'm getting off it all, it seems like Chelsea is going to be the only team possibly, if anything was to happen, that will be the only team that can go in for him this season. I know there was talk of Real Madrid as well. That he's had an agreement in place with Real Madrid as well. How much of that is true, I don't know. But it seems Chelsea is the only team that possibly can get him.
I don't want to interrupt you, but that was completely rebuked by Jan Arne Fjortov. He has no arrangement with any club, according to Jan. I listened out for that particular.
Oh, did you? I didn't see all of that. So I
Yeah.
saw bits of what I saw
Yeah.
and what I heard. That was all I could hear, and I didn't obviously see all of it, as I said.
And
No,
just
he was
to clarify,
emphatic.
he not only said any club, he even indicated Chelsea. So even with Chelsea, there hasn't been any discussions in respect to Erling Haaland and his agent. So we've heard in the past, and I think even Fabrizio Romano said this in the past, and this kind of contradicts what Romano has said. But apparently there was some sort of an agreement, an initial agreement reached with Haaland's agent and his dad with Chelsea in respect to moving forward, and it was only a matter of dealing with the club to continue moving forward in respect to the contract. This is the first time I've seen Eric Blue, by the way. This is the first time I've seen him. He's been on my channel many a time. First time I've seen him. So welcome to the video side of my channel, Eric.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm not lagging because I was having issues with that before. Yeah.
You're good. Your mic is similar to mine, so my audio must be pretty good as well.
Yeah, your audio is good. Your audio is fine. Yeah.
Okay, Eric, what's your thoughts on? What's your thoughts on this Haaland situation? I mean, if you haven't seen the podcast, what's your thoughts on the situation and what has been going on today? You see, my main concern is this: the fan base is frustrated. The fan base is so frustrated from the lack of information and the continued supporting, because we're all talking about this, me included. I've made a video today that got nearly 6,000 views, and all I said was the man was asked a question and he did not respond verbally, and for that I got 6,000 views. So it makes sense for us to be talking about Erling Haaland, but I mean, how much do we really know about this story right now? Has there been any developments, or is it just us, trying to make something out of nothing? How do you see this, Eric?
Yeah, I wish I had more information, but I've been doing so many other things on the side, and I've had little to no I've done almost no research on latest developments. I've been seeing a few things on social media, but yeah, I even saw the new video from Burton Ballers. I haven't clicked on it yet, but it looks like a positive thing. But I think, honestly, the more I think about it, I feel like it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. So we have to try and be patient, and eventually, I think he will sign. I think Holland will sign eventually, but maybe we wouldn't like the price. Maybe we wouldn't like how it looks and everything. But the main thing is we have the player. So hopefully, like Jem said in the other stream, a minimum of 4 years, and hopefully he signs and we can just move on. These kind of deals take a long time, so we shouldn't be surprised how long it's taken. So we just need to be a little bit more patient, and eventually he should sign, and yeah, we can move on.
I think the good thing is that we all need to understand is that it's not blowing away, and that is the good thing. I think if there was nothing going on in behind the scenes, I think there would have been some sort of movement by now. I think we would have heard something, and I think even if it wasn't Chelsea vocally, it would have been a different direction in terms of who we were looking for or the player that we were looking to bring in. Because let's be serious, we all know we need a striker. I'm sure the bald blooming know we need a striker. The fact that we're still quiet, the fact that we're still tight-lipped, the fact that we're still entertaining or even thinking about Erling Haaland in many ways tells me that we are doing something. It's just whether or not it's going to be successful. And I just think it's Chelsea determined. Let's just cut it really and just be serious. All Chelsea need to do is lay that money. They put that 150, that 175 down. I think that gets the job done. It's just whether or not Roman's authorised that to be done now. And I think that might be what they're working to do, whether that means getting rid of players, whether that means sorting out the contracts, i.e. over a 4-year period, breaking it out with some bonuses back to Dortmund so that we don't have to pay them the full amount now as well. It's there's a lot behind it, and it's one of them deals that people just have to be patient with, and Chelsea will eventually show their hand. I do think so. We have to just see.
Yeah.
Supporting what you're saying, DJ. The one thing that does encourage me,
Jem.
Jem, is that Jem? Oh, so I'm so sorry. Hey, Jem, how can I not even recognise your voice, Jem?
It's because you always see me usually. That's why.
I was saying the one thing that does encourage me is that Dortmund have not shut this down. They have not come out and said even that Haaland's not for sale. And neither have they said, anything to discourage Chelsea. In fact, to the contrary, they've been teasing. When their director was asked where Haaland was, he cracked a joke and said, "Oh, he's in London." Now, if it was something that they were adamantly against, they would say, "Well, he's coming for training. I know what question you're going to ask, and he's not going anywhere." That something like that. So they've not really dismissed it. I think they're teasing and they're waiting to see whether Chelsea's going to drop some money.
Yeah, I want to say something. I want to say something about Jan. Jan is the one that is talking about the other story, which we're going to be covering in a minute, and that is Hakim Ziyech, Tammy Abraham, and Callum leaving this window. Now, Jan is not really connected to Chelsea. Jan is connected to the Haaland side of the story. I agree. He has insight into that, no doubt. But for him to be coming out and saying this about the Chelsea situation, it means that he has been privileged or allowed to see information that he wouldn't normally see. Now, that link is here. The link is, as I see it, is Tammy Abraham will be allowed to leave once Chelsea signs Haaland, because it doesn't make sense for Chelsea to let Tammy Abraham go without them actually securing the signature of another striker. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, yes, Tammy Abraham is not liked by Tuchel. Tuchel wants to get rid of him and get somebody else, but he ain't going to do that, keeping us barren when it comes to strikers. And I want to get Max Burton in on this. What's your thoughts on this, Max? And welcome to the stream, man.
Hey guys, how you doing, everyone?
Very good, Max.
Yeah. So obviously I've been following this. You know what I'm like. I'm a pessimist, really. And when it comes to deals, I don't get too excited until I see the guy holding the shirt. That's just me. But the noise around it is positive, because as people have said before, just the body language of Haaland today that little cheeky smile when they said, "Are you staying?" He didn't commit himself. Obviously, he's not gonna be committed. He's not gonna say, "Yeah, I'm staying" or "I'm going" or whatever. So he's a professional at the end of the day. But the fact that we have offloaded Giroud, he's going to be presented to in AC Milan, I think tomorrow, I believe. And the fact that we are willing to let Tammy Abraham go, that's just going to leave us with Timo Werner, who's not a pure striker. So we are going to be getting a striker. We won't be letting players go if we are not confident about getting a replacement in. And the other thing is as well, Dortmund today put in a bid for Malen, the Dutch striker. And so by doing that, they're probably preparing the way for Haaland to go. You know, so things have to be in place at the moment. We're going to look at who's sellable, who we can get rid of to bring him in. And obviously, if this Kurt Zouma as well, he's up 25 million, which I think is way too low, but that's a price I saw quoted today. And there are going to be other movements out of the club. So I think with what happened last season, where we went in, we've got a few players in, but we didn't get any players out. So we need to get some of those players off our books as well. So I think we're going to concentrate on getting some of those players off our books as well, because I think it'll be Erling Haaland, fingers crossed, plus another, possibly Declan Rice.
Oh God.
Well, that's sort of what the club wants, isn't it?
Well,
maybe some of the fan base may not want it, but the club do want it.
I don't see Hakim Ziyech going anywhere. I really don't. I
agree.
see Tammy Abraham. I think if if that is West Ham's top priority and they want to give us 35, take it. I would personally. I agree with what Baggy's saying though. I think it's very stupid for Chelsea to offload him now without having Haaland agreed. I don't think Chelsea are as stupid as that, and they won't make that move, especially when Giroud's just left. I think you'll see Emerson go eventually at some point. I know he's not going to, give us that much. I think there was talks of around 10 million for him, from what I heard, for him to go as well.
They're asking for 20 plus 5 in add-ons. Chelsea.
It? Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's. I mean, I would take that. I would know about you guys, but I think that's pretty good for Emerson. I don't think he's worth that much, to be honest, in terms of the market. But
I think his price went up a bit after the semi-final and the final.
Yeah. Definitely. I think Tammy and Emerson are defos. With Callum Hudson-Odoi, the only way I see him going is if he goes in a swap deal for Haaland, and I don't think they're going to do that. And even though Dortmund have already made it very clear that they actually like Hudson-Odoi as a player, I don't know whether they would think of bringing him on as a part of the deal or just buy him outright, if that makes sense. That's the only place I see him going. Other than that, I think he will stay. I think Tuchel will want him there.
Yeah. No, I think Callum is a player that Tuchel would want to stay. He would use him. And Hakim also. I think the Tammy Abraham. It's one of those weird ones because I personally think Tammy Abraham can still have a career at Chelsea, even with us buying Haaland. But I think. There is a rift between him and Tuchel. If you guys saw the embrace on the first training session, yes, they embraced. Yes, it was lovely jubbly, but the way that Tammy Abraham kind of glanced back at him, I think there is something there. There is something there definitely between the two men. So Callum, I think he's staying, and I think Ziyech is also staying, unless we get some crazy money for either one.
No, I agree. I don't think Ziyech goes whatsoever. I mean, number one, where does he go? I know he's not had the greatest of seasons last season, but you could say that for most of the signings we had from last season. I do think that every player that you bring in deserves one sort of call-off season, and then the second season they get, especially at Chelsea, they get tested. And if he performs like he did last season, then I think you will see him go, but not this transfer window. So I think we need them. I don't see why we would get rid of individuals like Ziyech, who I think is one of the only players in our team on his day that can create, we can actually create something out of nothing. Do you know what I mean? With the ball at his feet. So I think we need them kind of players, especially if we're going to sign out Erling Haaland as well.
No, I agree. Regarding this comment by Luke, we haven't yet, but we will. So sit tight. We'll get to it. wanna see what the opinion of Bobby is, because Bobby normally gives us a logical perspective on this. So these three players, do you concur with what me and Jem just said in regards to them leaving, or do you have a different point of view?
Absolutely. I always fear when I respond to players leaving because of my natural Chelsea bias and my desire to make sure that we are strong and have strength in depth. But having said that, like both of you, I can't see any sense or any desire for Chelsea to get rid of Ziyech and Callum Hudson-Odoi. Of the three, the most likely will be Tammy. And there could be a possibility of Callum if a loan deal to, say, like Dortmund is on the card. I can see that happening. But Ziyech, I can't see that happening at all. Ziyech is too integral to this team, this squad going forward into what will be a very important season for Chelsea Football Club. It really will. I think this coming season could set the tone of Chelsea's success for the next 5 years. So we've got to really get it right, and we've got to have every talented player that we have in the squad available. So Ziyech is out of the question for sure.
Here's a question though, because what we have, right? If we continue playing the five at the back, and if say Haaland does come in, then we're going to have two players to play in the. Obviously, we play with a double pivot, and then we're going to have people like Pulisic. Werner would presumably play wide, and you've got Callum. You'll have Hudson-Odoi, you'll have Ziyech, you'll have Mason Mount in those positions. Do you think that they'll probably think that we're overloading that area and they'll let one, not both, but maybe one of those two go?
I'm gonna give you a different insight onto this, Max. Check this out, yeah. Callum Hudson-Odoi is switching allegiances. Apparently he's gonna be a Ghanaian.
It's confirmed.
Yeah,
it's confirmed.
Yeah.
It's confirmed.
So it has been confirmed. It has been confirmed. Therefore, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Hakim Ziyech will be missing for at least a month in this upcoming season.
AFCONs.
AFCON,
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to have two wingers away from the club. Now, this comes to the comment that I think Luke made earlier about how serious are Chelsea going to be, or how serious are the rumours that linking Chelsea with, what's that lad's name?
Chiesa.
Chiesa. Yeah. So because there was talks about that, and apparently there's like €100 million price tag put on the man. And I think he's at Juventus on a loan right now from Fiorentina, with Juventus obliged to buy him at the end of the loan. So if we were going to buy him, we'd have to buy him from Juventus for over 100 million, when we could have had him last season for, I think, just around 20 million. I want to know your point of view on this. So this is for everyone. Us losing two wingers for the African Cup of Nations and the Chiesa links. How serious are these? So this is open to the panel. Take a shot at this, lads.
We'll cope. Because I didn't mention Havertz. Havertz when I mentioned the players that we've got. In that system, we'll cope. Because you look, Callum Hudson-Odoi didn't play that many games in his natural position when Tuchel came. He played a few games as a wing back, but then he didn't play further outfield. Ziyech was on the bench for quite a lot of the games. So I'll say we cope, but obviously we don't know what's going to happen with injuries and what have you. But for that month, I think we'll be good. And if there are injuries, then African Nations Cup's January, and that's when the window opens in January, so we can get some recruitments in that area if needed.
Well, don't be surprised if we don't sign a winger and we look at our academy or what we've got at the moment, because there's also a Charlie Musonda who's obviously built up a lot more. You've seen him in training. You know,
Yeah.
if he impresses Tuchel over pre-season, he might think, hang on, why are we even looking to sign someone for 100 mil? We've got someone that I can work with here that could potentially add to the squad in all, in all comps in many ways. He might not play Premier League or a Champions League, but he might play the cup games, the FA Cup games, and whatever else. It might give us that versatility, or it might get to the point where, like you said, we lose them two in January. He gets him sort of mixing with the squad, playing games here and there up to sort of December, January, and then you start seeing him coming in with Callum Hudson-Odoi and Havertz, and still, to be honest, and Pulisic as well. To be honest, I think we've got enough. I think we need to sometimes look at what we've got closest to home rather than just always go out and spend. And I know that's not the Chelsea way, but I really do think we should give some of these guys an opportunity if Tuchel sees something in them, if that makes sense as well.
How old is Chiesa?
23, I believe.
So he's a young player.
Yeah, he's quite young. Yeah.
Well, they squashed it, Juventus, anyway, because they said that they're not open for talks for him whatsoever to Chelsea. So I don't know whether that will happen, even if we did try.
They closed the discussions right away. He's untouchable, apparently.
And
I find it very hard to believe that this rumor is even legit, because
I don't think it's legit.
100 million euro, and then you have Declan Rice, gonna cost a lot. You have Haaland. I really cannot believe this is a true rumor, to be honest.
Yeah. What you got to remember as well, this is like a sort of cat and mouse going between Chelsea and Dortmund. So probably Chelsea would allow these sort of things to be leaked to say that, you know what, there are. I know it doesn't play in the same position, but it's just saying, you know what, we can go out and get an alternative or something like that. So it's kind of, so I think it's just, there's a lot of rumours going around.
And Haaland, the other thing as well, Haaland actually, if we sign Haaland, the other thing that it does do for our squad as well is it allows us to switch formation. And that might be something that Tuchel might want to do at a later stage. Why? Because it gives us an out-and-out number 9. Something that we've struggled with last season is that we've not had a number 9. We've been accommodating a number 9. So we've been using Havertz as a false 9. We thought Timo Werner was the answer, but halfway through the season, it made it very clear that he's not someone that can play as a lone striker, especially in the Premier League, where where you don't get the time on the ball. You get, you're messing with big players. I remember Timo Werner saying that he's struggling to deal with these big side defenders because it's just so physical. So I think bringing Haaland in, I think it also allows us to adapt to different formations. So don't be surprised if he switches it up a lot more next season as well.
You make a great point there, Jim. The thing is with Timo Werner, having Haaland in the team will allow him to be a little bit more assertive. It will free him up a little bit more. It will get some of these big defenders off his back. And I think. I don't know if DJ wants to come in on this, because I know DJ is a big fan of Timo Werner. But I think having Erling Haaland in the team will give the opportunity to Timo Werner to score a lot more goals and to be a little bit more productive. DJ, what's your thoughts on that, mate?
No, I totally agree with that, Baggy. I think when I look at Haaland and I look at the situation with Werner, Haaland reminds me very much of a Drogba, Costa type player. Big, bulky player, and he can hold up play, bring others into play. And I think that would suit Timo Werner's game next season to the ground. And I think you'll see him taking more and more defenders away, so Haaland can get the opportunity to score the goal. So I totally agree with that 100%.
And what you got to remember as well, at Dortmund he was with Poulsen. Poulsen was the big guy, and he was playing off him, and that gave him the space to exploit as well. So so that will work with a big guy like Haaland.
I want to say that Chelsea hasn't won the league in 5 years, and they are aware that since Diego Costa, we haven't had a proper number 9, literally, and we have struggled domestically as well. So from that perspective, also with our financial situation, having Tuchel on board, I will be very surprised if we don't get Haaland this summer. The only factor that would not make this deal go through is Dortmund not accepting no matter how much money we pay for him. The other unlikely factor is that we are idiots at the end of the day, and we don't pay the money for him. So it's gonna be a saga. It's gonna take a long time. and I think until we figure out who are we going to sell from the club, I agree with Bobby and Jem that Ziyech is not going to be sold no matter what, and it's just nonsense. Let's just wait the next couple of weeks. Lots of Tier 1 journalists have been saying end of July something will happen, or some movement regarding this deal will start kicking in. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Can I just ask you guys a question? Do you remember a few weeks back, Jan on ESPN? He said something along the lines of there was talks happening behind closed doors after the European Champions League final, and I get the feeling that Jan plays a role in marketing or promoting this deal rather than reporting on it. I could be wrong here, but I think he has something to gain from this if it was to happen or not to happen. I think he's a stakeholder in the thing, and I think as a result we can't really take everything that he says at face value and we need to look read between the lines, because I think there is interest on his behalf in respect to this. Do you guys concur? Do you guys think I'm just
I heard apparently that we have been actually in contact with the Haaland camp for 4 months right now.
Yeah. And Jan said that earlier in the like a month ago, and now he's saying that there hasn't been anything really happening in regards to official contacts by anyone. Or is it anyone apart from Chelsea? And are we just misreading what he's saying? Because English is not his first language, so he could be being misquoted, translation issues. I don't know. For me, it's not clear. For me, this is not clear.
I think that you're talking about the tweet he did yesterday. Yeah, I think that was lost in translation. I think I questioned him on that as well. I did ask him. He didn't respond to it. I think it may be a bit of teasing on his part as well, because he said what I read it to be was anyone but Chelsea. So Chelsea are the only one who are in discussions.
Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't deny or confirm that when I did ask the question. But yeah,
I think the issue you've got with journalists this day and age, and not just Jan, I think they all do it, barring Fabrizio Romano, who's usually just here we go and it's serious, you know what I mean? So when it comes to him in saying what's going on. I feel like they all have links to different types of sources, whether it's Chelsea camp, whether it's the player and the agents or whatever. And I feel like they get given information, but from a marketing aspect, like what Baggy says, they tend to choose to, rather than tell the truth, tell you half the truth. And I think that's the biggest issue that you have with journalists these days. You look at what Kevin Palmer done the other day when he was saying there's some big news. He said there was some big news on the Chelsea side of things. Make sure you tune in this evening. And it was basically an article in one of the papers. I can't remember if it was a Sunday something. I can't remember. But
Sunday World.
Yeah. Sunday World, that's it. And literally all it basically said was that no one else is coming in for Haaland other than Chelsea. Like there was nothing new to the the progression of this deal. And I just feel like they're playing with us, and it's not nice. But from a PRing aspect, it makes sense from their perspective. But it's just not good. I don't know. I find it really.
That's a great point, James. At the end of the day, it's about selling papers, isn't it? Or getting clicks or whatever. So if you keep a story going long enough and got that interest, because this is a big story of the transfer window.
Of course it is.
And so what is they going to do? They're going to milk it. And they're not going to say, if they said tomorrow that we've agreed deals, that's it, everyone's happy. But they're going to feed you little bits of information to keep your interest going until the time. Yeah, but as you guys have said, there's too many sort of tier 1 journalists who are talking about this. So it's a bid is imminent. I could feel it in my water. So it's coming.
The fact that Chelsea is usually very quiet. You have to take into consideration a lot of them are desperate for any news they can get from their sources to leak it out, and just even if it's repetitive as well, you have to look at the demand, because if journalists don't say anything, fans are gonna get frustrated and start asking any news, any Haaland news, and when journalists don't say anything. And when journalists keeps releasing news, even though if it's repetitive, it's because the demand is high. So I would rather keep getting updates, even if it's nothing new, but at least to give us some insight. Okay, at least there's still something going on regarding the Haaland deal.
Yeah,
I prefer Chelsea to be the way they are. I know it sounds like really like annoying for us, from our perspective as fans, because we want to know now. It's like, play us now. We want to know now. But
yeah.
I completely get why they're so tight-lipped with something like this. They make the one wrong move, and it gets out in the media, and we don't end up signing that guy. How dumb does it make them look as a football club? And the other thing I heard as well, especially with Fabrizio Romano, is that apparently Chelsea as Marina and the board, they don't actually like mixing with too many journalists in terms of what they're doing. They're very tight-lipped, which we already know. But in terms of Fabrizio Romano and Marina, apparently they actually had a falling out. That's what I've been told. They've actually had a falling out. So he doesn't get anything, or he doesn't get given anything from the main book, from Marina directly, from herself, or anyone directly from the board to sort of give him, the first news of it. Like, with Fabrizio Romano, he gets the news before usually everyone else, doesn't it? And it's like, here we go, and then bang, everyone else reports on it after. With Chelsea, he doesn't get that, because apparently he's fell out with Marina. That's what I've been told. Someone's told me it's quite close to him. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's a weird one. I think I prefer Chelsea doing what they're doing, providing whatever they're doing is successful, and that's it really.
And I think the club has been a bit wary. I'm not sure if many of you remember the Rubino deal. Remember when we were very close to signing Rubino, then we started printing shirts and all sorts, and that got Real Madrid's back up, and then they pulled out. So that's why we didn't get the deal done, and Man City got the deal. So I think Chelsea have been really cautious and tight-lipped when it comes to transfers. So they've learned from that mistake, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple of hiccups. I mean, especially with the Lukaku deal. When he ended up going to Man United, when it was done and dusted that he'd be coming to Chelsea. So, these things happen, and I think Chelsea are tight-lipped, and we've seen it happen a lot. I mean, the Kai Havertz deal was a classic. Everyone knew that deal was going to happen. Everyone knew it was going to happen. Even Leverkusen were literally saying it on the timeline on Twitter, but it just wasn't being announced. And Chelsea controlled that. They controlled the entire transfer in a way that suited us, not the way that suited Bayern Leverkusen, not the way that suited anyone else. The way that suits Chelsea, and they're doing the same thing here. And I think with the agent that Haaland has, we have to be even more careful and even more precise in the way we handle this. So, expect this 100%. To drag on literally to the last minute.
That's what, because you mentioned Lukaku, and the reason why we didn't get Lukaku was because we refused to pay the agent fees that he wanted, and Manchester United were prepared to pay the agent fees. That's why. If you look at Lukaku's interviews since, he said he really wanted to go to Chelsea, but his agent denied him from that. I think after that he got rid of Riola, didn't he? He's got a new agent now. So
yeah. We fell out with Riola, didn't we? And apparently that's part of the reason why.
Relationships gotten better.
We've been mending relationships.
We've been mending relationships with him to obviously try and get this done. So it all makes sense.
Yeah, and also the interesting thing as well, Maitland, the Dutch guy, he's on his books as well. So the fact that he's trying to So the fact that he's trying to get him into Dortmund means obviously getting one of his clients to Dortmund to pave the way for Haaland to move to Chelsea. So.
By the way, if you notice, Dortmund account are doing the exact same thing Leverkusen account did with Havertz, with taking pictures of the player and the thing. And saying that we're preparing for the next season. Just teasing, and it's imminent. I just said I will be really surprised if we don't sign Haaland this summer. But I want to ask Jim this question.
Yes, bro.
I personally have a phobia from Chelsea's board in the transfer window. I'm not a big fan overall from a macro perspective. I wanted to see your input as a Chelsea fan as well, because I just don't trust them yet, even though we had an unbelievable transfer window last year. But in my opinion, this is probably the best transfer window we've had since the mid 2000s. So, what do you think of us as a club when it comes to transfers?
How can we really moan? I know we've been let down in certain windows, but if you look at it overall, I think we've always been a club that, if we have something on mind and it's someone that we specifically want, we usually tend to go all out to get them. And I think the hunger to be able to have a chairman that, if he agrees and he likes where you're going with it, can just throw that cash. It doesn't matter what it is, provided it makes sense and it works for us. Because remember, there's always a structure in how Chelsea have to do things, right? This is the thing. People think, well, Chelsea have got loads of money, they can just spend it and buy who they want. It doesn't always work like that. It's, every transfer window, they'll sit down and they'll go, how much have we got to spend? Okay, but what do we need to do in terms of selling? Okay, and it's one of them things where we can buy who we want and do what we want, but at the same time, you have to balance the books. It's like any business, isn't it? If you own a business, you can't just go crazy without buying this, that, and the other. So, look, I get why people would feel very skeptical and worried about how Chelsea do things. If we're talking specifically about the Haaland deal, the reason I'm not worried about it yet is that it has the same similarities as the Havertz deal for me. It's moving in the same way, and it isn't going away. It's not like it's just dying off. It's not like it's a closed book gone quiet, and no one's talking about it anymore. And like I said, Chelsea would have done something differently if they wasn't interested in Haaland. There would have been them. You would have heard Chelsea talking to maybe potentially getting someone else or looking to get involved with someone else, and that's just not happened. And this is why, as fans, I think sometimes we just need to learn to be patient. Learn to be patient.
Yeah, and the other thing is, once Roman Abramovich gets involved in the deal, you've got to be positive.
Yeah,
because with the Havertz one, there was some to and fro, and then Abramovich said, you know what, I'm taking over now. And he got that sorted out within a few weeks. So he's got an interest in this. This is somebody he really wants, just like with the Torres deal, when he really wants Torres, the Shevchenko, when he really wants Shevchenko. When he's invested in somebody, then, it usually happens.
100%.
I've got a guest onto my channel, The Winter Surfer. I've seen you on the Worldwide Chelsea, but I haven't seen you on my channel before. Welcome to Maggie TV, mate.
And Monster as well. It's been on Monsters.
Hello.
Yeah, I've seen
Hear
him.
me? Yeah, cool.
It's been on mine.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah.
I've been with this guy as well on the Friday night.
Yeah.
Quiz buddies. Quiz buddies. You know, quiz buddies. All right.
Callum Captain America.
Undefeated. All right. Jim.
Welcome.
DJ. Welcome. Guys.
We're doing good. I don't know if you've been following the chat. Basically, we're discussing the Haaland situation. Let me know your thoughts on it, mate. Give me your thoughts on the topic.
Yeah, I'll be glad when it's over, one way or the other. Whether we don't buy him, we don't buy him. But I think we are in the later stages now. I think it's just all about the bid from us. I know people are worried about, Jan says we haven't agreed personal terms, but you don't announce you've agreed personal terms publicly until the club's accepted your bid. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because otherwise it's tapping up, right? And no one does tapping up anymore, right? Any discussions before the transfer's done. I think we are in the stages of bidding. And I think it really is a discussion of, we have this money, but how much are we going to pay them up front? Do you know what I mean? It's like, is it reported the 130 and then the 20 million add-ons? Is it straight up 150? If so, then how much of it is up front? Are we talking 90 million, 100 million, 110 million, 120 million up front? Because we all know that very few transfers are paid, big transfers are paid straight up. It just doesn't work like that. No one does that. It's paid over length of the contract.
Okay.
But I just believe I believe everything's done because Chelsea would have known ahead of time that they have to pay Raiola. They have to pay his father. I read a report yesterday that they've been trying to smooth things over with Raiola for the last 18 months since 2017 because of the Lukaku thing. So anyone's going, oh yeah, but we're going to have to pay Raiola. Do you think when they say they agreed personal terms, do you not take into account they would have done that for Raiola, they would have done that for his dad? They would have taken it all into account. They're not going to go Erling Haaland's personal terms separately, then Raiola, then his dad. They would have done that. They would have known all that going into this. So I just think we're actually at the stage of the bid. And
okay, I mean, you make a good observation here, and I wanna reflect this to the whole panel. Are we at the position of the bid, like the Winter Surfer is saying, or are we before that? Has already happened. You see, the thing is this. There's a couple of stages that we need to understand. There is a stage where Chelsea themselves decide onto how much they're prepared to pay. Now they're going to put a maximum price. They're going to put the bid, but they're going to put a maximum price. This is how much we're gonna spend. At the same time, there's going to be the chance where we go ahead and talk to Dortmund and say, no, this is our bid. This is what we're going to do. Now, the information that we have right now that's been leaked or that's been talked about by the press kind of suggests that we're in the position where the Winter Surfer is talking about. We're making that bid because the information that's out there suggests we have a figure, we have a payment method where we're going to do 4 installments. We're also going to have 20 million in bonuses, etc., etc. So that would suggest to me that there is contact already done between us and Dortmund. So this talk about this hasn't happened yet. I think it's misleading, and I think journalists, they have to be careful what they're allowed to say and what they can say. But I think we are more advanced in the negotiation than we are led to believe. I have a new member, Fal Diasso. Listen, mate, you're number 2. You are literally number 2, my second member on the channel. So that's a silver medal, I guess. You didn't get the gold, but you got the silver medal. I want to see who's going to get the bronze, and then the rest. So big up to you, mate. Appreciate you. Thank you for becoming a member.
The one thing I'd say, quick, Baggy, on that. Obviously, you make a great point. I think we're at the position where we know how much we've got. Roman signed it off. There's obviously talks about it being signed off at 150. I still think that we're trying to suss out what we can get away with. Because I don't think we want to go in with the full 150. I actually think we want to see if we can save money, right? It's like anyone, isn't it? When you go and buy something, you want to try and save a little bit here and there, isn't it? It's the same thing. And I think that's what I think we're trying to do. Whether that be, look, we'll give you 130 or 120, and then we'll give you the proposed 20-30 on bonuses, provided that Haaland does A, B, C, and D. Does that make sense? To try and save... Not save, but try and just sort of reduce the total amount of what they're asking, So it might be at the point where Chelsea know what they can pay in terms of the maximum amount, but what can we get away with as well, if that makes sense as well.
And there's also another thing as well. There's still not a great deal of clarification around financial fair play, because obviously we know that that's been relaxed maybe for a couple of seasons. So we need to know how much we'll get away with by still balancing the books, because UEFA may come along next month, so for instance, and say this is what you need to stay within the financial fair play rules. So we don't want to sort of throw everything in and then find out, we are breaching any rules or anything. So that's another thing to consider, I think.
And that would have to be spread across the contracts as well, which is another thing, which is completely right in what you're saying. We have to make sure that we fall in line, and the spreading of this payment might have to be split over 4 years, whatever. I don't see it being less than 4 years. I don't know about what you guys think. I just don't know how you have such a big sized payment like that and you do it over 3, over 3. I just don't. I think it's got to be between 4 and 5 years.
It is always, it's always
Yeah.
like that. Because you remember Kepa, he got a 7-year contract, and it was for that particular reason.
Yeah, that's true.
So we can spread the 70 million over 7 years.
To be honest, I'm hoping for 5 years. I think Havertz was 5 years. I can't remember. One or two other players were for 5 years, but yeah, I would like it to be 5 years because 3 years isn't a long time. Before you know it, the time will be up. So 4 years is better, but I would like 5 years. 150 million over 5. Yeah.
I think, if you're spending that money, sorry,
Max. I was just going to say the fact that one of the bonuses of signing Haaland is we're going to get some resale value. For us to move him on, we're going to get some resale value. Now, for 150, I want to get at least 3-4 seasons out of him, and still have 3 seasons as a backup for me to try to get a good value for him. Because if 4 seasons down the line he hasn't renewed his contract, I want to be able to sell him with him having 3 more years at the club, and then I'll get my money back at least.
Put it this way: we're not investing 150 just for 4 years. It's going to be 5 minimum.
We're not even just that. Whatever we invest in him now, we're going to make back anyway. People forget how young he is. He gets to 25, 26. It might be a Hazard situation where I've always wanted to play for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play for Bayern Munich. We're going to sell him for astronomical amounts at that point. If he's winning trophies at Chelsea, if he's helping us get top 4 every year up to then, we would have made our money back. People forget this. It's ridiculous.
Jim, no. Top 4 is not what we're talking about. We're talking about
no. I'm saying if we get it consecutively over the seasons that he's there and stuff.
Yeah. Listen, the thing is, sorry, Max. The thing is this: the thing we're lacking is goals. Because the team we have today does everything. We defend well, we pass the ball well, we create bare chances. We just can't put the ball in the back of the net. And that's what Haaland's going to do. So with Haaland, with a player that can score more than 7 goals in our team, I think we'll get the title.
Yeah. The thing is, he's gonna want to move. He's got Riola. He's gonna want to move him on, isn't it? After 4 or 5 years, anyway. The beauty of playing for someone like Chelsea, we don't make it difficult for players to move on. We're not like Tottenham, But so we granted Hazard his wish to move on. And the thing is, it's a win-win because if we're doing well, winning cups, trophies, Champions League and leagues, he may want to stay a bit longer. Because Hazard, that was his plan first of all, wasn't it, to stay for about 4 or 5 seasons, then move on to Real Madrid. But in the end, we got him for 7 seasons before he even went. And so if this guy's doing well and he falls in love with the club, like most players do when they join Chelsea, then we'll probably keep him for a bit longer. Eventually, he may move on. We're going to have Riola as a headache getting new contracts for him, bumper contracts for him after over 2 or 3 years, but that's the price we've got to pay. So if he's winning us titles, I'll take that.
The issue is if you put a buyout clause on, say, any buyout clause has got to be more than obviously what we pay for him. So we're talking over 200 million, right, for the buyout clause, 250 at a minimum, you're saying? Buyout clause?
Yes.
Now, that's great, and they could want a buyout clause, that's great, but are we sure any club is actually going to pay 250 million? Now, we're talking about 3 or 4 years' time, and finances of football could explode again. The Super League thing may pop around again. You know what I mean? It may come up again. The clubs may be able to afford it, clubs may not be able to afford it, but if they did, if he stays 3 or 4 years, and in that time we're talking about he bangs in over between 100 and 150 goals, we get 2 Premier Leagues and another Champions League. I'll bid him a farewell. Do you know what I mean?
What Chelsea must do, thank you very much.
Chelsea scouting must get better. So the next prospect that comes up, I would say, if it gets to a year 3 and he's itching for a move at year 4, I would speak to whoever that player's team is, and I would pay for that player a year out and leave him at that club, and then bring him in after Haaland goes. That's what we have to do. We have to prepare better. What we've not done is when Drogba, Anelka, and Costa, who I believe has been the only 3 strikers successful in Roman Abramovich's era, replaced them, or we've replaced them with levels below strikers that have not played well. I mean, we should be. I mean, if we'd done our scouting right or paid properly for strikers, we should be sitting on nearly 10 Premier League titles.
Yeah, great point. Because if you look at has everyone gone? Hello?
No. I'm here. I'm still here.
Oh, 3 people just disappeared. I'm not sure what happened to the network. That was a great point that Winter Surf was making as well about.
Sorry, I'm bad. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, so it was a great point that you made there. Because if you look at a team like Atletico Madrid, Atletico Madrid have got rid of some strikers, but they've always replaced them. Torres went, they replaced him with Aguero came in. And
they had Falcao as well.
Falcao, then
Griezmann.
Griezmann,
I mean,
so they're always getting the next best thing. Even Dortmund, because obviously Aubameyang was banging in goals for them.
Get me started on Aguero. We could have paid 37 million for him.
Yeah,
we could have got him and Godin, for the money that we paid for.
Good Lord. Yeah, don't give me.
Even Leicester City has a great scout.
Yeah.
Leicester City, Tommy. Leicester City have a great. That's what I mean. Our scouting has to be better. All not just strikers, but all around the pitch. I mean, I want to find the person who said to our board, pay for Kepa, because I would. If they're still at the club, they should get going because
her name is Marina.
But to be fair, Kepa was a kind of panic buy because we wanted Alisson, really.
The Courtois situation.
With the Courtois situation, and all of a sudden we just panicked and done the buyout clause for Kepa.
And we've been crap many times in transfer windows. I'm gonna keep saying it again.
Listen, all we have to do is look at the pre-season training and look at the list that we have there, man. It's like Drinkwater, Zappacosta.
Danny Drinkwater needs to go, man. He's the one I'd get out the door soon as,
He's only got a year left on his contract, hasn't he? Yeah, I saw him.
Baba Zappacosta, bro.
I thought he'd gone. It's like, what? No, we say get rid of Deadwood. This is under the Deadwood. This is below. Yeah. We're just seeing levels of Deadwood in this team. We are still paying for it 4 or 5 years later, or 6 years later.
I think Matt Miazga is trying to do a Piazzon to see who can get the most low moves.
Don't forget, add Kennedy to that as well, Andrew.
You know what's funny? A lot of
Kennedy didn't turn up.
He's at Flamengo.
Kennedy is
in Flamengo, isn't he?
He doesn't want to come back. He doesn't want to come back.
Oh, just leave him out there then. Just leave him out there.
He's doing a Costa. He's doing a Costa.
Send Drinkwater out there. Send Drinkwater out there. Send them all out there. Let them Brazilian. Let them go. Please.
Julius, you were saying, Julius?
No, I was gonna say just banter. Like a lot of our fans, they have world-class YouTube scouting abilities. I remember all of these players were highly rated by so many of our fans when we were linked with them. But they end up being bang average at best.
Who rates Zappacosta? Can you find anyone out there?
I remember there was a couple of people even on YouTubers saying, he's decent. He's got nice shots from long range.
You know what it is?
One cross that went in the back of the net. That was just one cross.
You know what it is? It's all these people who try to be clever. They've never heard of the player before. We're linked with him. They watch about 7 or 8 YouTube videos and they become experts on the player.
Yeah, same thing with Camavinga. Same thing with Alex Telles and Reguilon last year, and it's sickening,
Apparently Declan Rice is a good player as well.
The amount of hate Declan Rice gets, I don't understand.
He came from our ranks, Baggy,
listen, lads. I want to say something. Alex, congratulations, man. Congratulations, Alex.
Done,
big up, Alex.
Well done, mate.
Thank you for a while. You're still celebrating.
No, I've been away. I was in Italy for a while. That's why I haven't been on in time.
I wonder why, mate.
Yeah. But I'm back now. I've been back for a couple of days, but no, it's been good. How are you guys?
Were you actually in Italy for the final then?
I was.
What was it like over there?
What
was the atmosphere
crazy.
like?
I was in Milan, so I was in Milan. And no, wow, no.
Excellent.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But it was alright. It was alright. It wasn't too bad. But yeah, I didn't sleep the whole night, but it was alright. But to be at the same time, you know, I already won, you know. So if England had won or Italy, either way, I would have been happy. So.
Yeah,
It's one of those things, but we'll take it as it comes, you know. Anyways, how are you guys? All good?
we're
All
good.
good,
We're
bro.
good.
Yeah,
All good.
Yeah.
What you guys been?
Yeah,
What you guys been talking about?
Some guy called
Haaland.
Haaland. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, no. Oh man. Oh, just the only thing, I would say about it is I'm worried that we're gonna be doing this whole summer and we're gonna miss on other targets. That's my only worry, because I think in the past history we've seen that we always try to chase a player and then we don't get that player and then we miss out on other targets, and it's like we only have Marina to do that job to try and get through these deals. Like we should maybe have more people to look at other players whilst we're looking for Haaland, you know. So we need to do 2-3 jobs at once instead of just doing one job, and then once that's solved, then we might run out of time. And it's just I'm worried. That's the thing I'm worried about.
I mean, how do you guys feel if Haaland? I was going to say, how do you guys feel if Haaland's going to be our only signing this summer? Would you guys go with that, or would you be happy with the rest of the squad?
Yeah.
I would definitely.
I would, because I think Tuchel also. I think I would see the players improving, you know. So and also having new system. And look, we all know what our problem was last season, and last season was, you know, we created the most chances in the league since Tuchel had come in. The only problem was our conversion rate, I think, was like 6% or something. So bringing him in, I think, will probably solve a lot of the problems.
And you say since Tuchel came in, it's not been only a Tuchel issue, it's been a Frank Lampard issue, it's been a Mauricio Sarri issue as well.
Chelsea thing.
Yeah, as Witness Surfer said, since we haven't replaced Diego Costa.
Yes, 100%.
All I can say is, right, if we buy Haaland and he flops, we should never buy a striker again. Honestly,
The Chelsea curse, isn't it?
Hopefully not.
I trace the curse back.
He'll flop and we'll win a Champions League like every other striker that came and
I traced it back. The number 9 shirt is cursed.
Just burn it.
I told Jim it was cursed when we gave it to
Steve Sidwell,
defender,
maybe?
Steve Sidwell.
Khalid Boularus.
Oh yeah, Khalid.
Oh my God!
And Steve Sidwell had it as well, didn't
but
he?
it was already cursed by then. The
first number 9 to be a defender.
If you give a defender anything higher than a 6, like normal, you know, like the 1 to 11, then you're asking for trouble. Yeah. Number 9 shirt does not belong on a defender. Okay, it's like you know the Wolves goalkeeper wears the number 11. I was what? I thought that was like a mistake at first. Double ones by mistake, but we don't put that. I'm sorry, it just doesn't sit easy with me. It's like
I think it was his lucky number, Winter Surfer.
I think it's too.
No, he didn't want it. He didn't want it.
He didn't want the number 9.
No, there's a story about it actually.
What was that?
I thought it was his lucky number or something.
No, Belarus didn't want number 9. He thought it was a joke when someone said he was good. I think Marino said he was getting number 9. He thought it was a joke.
Unbelievable. And then Sidwell made it. Sidwell.
I don't know why we bought him.
That was another great. Everyone says 2017. They want to go to 2007 summer.
Look at it.
Steve Sidwell, Claudio Pizarro on a free transfer, and then Malouda.
And Mateo Kovačić,
he didn't start playing well for like 18 months. Mateo Kovačić was 04.
So that was that's the present that we gave to Ancelotti, wasn't it?
That we gave
after winning the double.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, free transfers and Khalid Boularus.
And he wanted what's his name, the Italian midfield genius, the one who managed Juventus last year. Can't remember.
Pirlo.
Pirlo, yeah.
Pirlo.
Yeah, we wanted Pirlo. We gave him Sidwell.
That's ridiculous.
See, so anyone who says Marina's the issue, this goes back before Marina started doing.
I want to know what one of our scouts went. Hey, listen, I've just found a really good player. He's a sexy player. His name's Steven Sidwell. He should play for Chelsea. He'll win us titles.
He played for Reading. He played for the high-flying Reading. He
honestly,
really improved us because he played for Reading.
He should get fired for that.
You know, not Ballack, who we already say, not Essien, not Macaulay. Let's add Steve Sidwell. to regain the title back from Man United. You know what? We're going to keep a Mr. Shevchenko.
I want to ask you guys a question. You know, Tammy Abraham, he's rated 35, 40 million about, right? That's what you'd put on him, yeah? Now, what about Ross Barkley?
I wouldn't put 35, 40 million on. Look,
same.
Arsenal are getting Ben White for 50 million. 50 million for Ben White. And we can't get 50 million for a striker.
Barkley hasn't been playing. I mean, if you...
No, I'm talking about Tammy.
Oh, Tammy.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is this. I think Barkley would probably get a price similar to Tammy. Because Tammy, listen, hear me out.
Yeah.
When I say similar, I mean in a ballpark. So if Tammy is going for 35, 40, I would say Barkley maybe 20,
25,
28,
30,
29,
yeah.
25 plus.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like 10 million, difference between him and Tammy, because Tammy played for Chelsea for the beginning of last season, and he scored a couple of goals beginning of last season. Now, the point I'm trying to make is we're hearing a lot about Tammy being sold, but we're not hearing anything about Barkley being sold.
Who'll take him, Baggy?
Sorry?
Who'll take him?
Who'll take him?
Yeah.
That's the thing. If a journalist was to come out and say, you know what, this club would want him, that club would want him, we'd all be talking about it.
Yeah, he started well at Villa, didn't he? Then he tailed off.
He did. I mean, I think he had a good relationship with Grealish. They had a couple of good games together. So the point I'm trying to make is this: there is a lot of hype around certain players, either to be bought or to be sold, and others are totally ignored. Regarding Emerson Palmieri had a fantastic tournament. And you're going to say, well, he didn't play every game, only because Spinazzola was injured, etc. But no, Emerson Palmieri is a player who's hardly had a kick of a ball the entire season, and he comes in to a international tournament and plays really, really well for the amount of game time that he's had. So Emerson Palmieri is a good player, and I'm sure Alex would concur. Emerson Palmieri is probably talked highly of in Italy right now, but we're still not hearing a lot about him and about his price tag. Now, what I'm trying to say is there's a lot when it comes to journalism and their agendas against Chelsea Football Club. You just mentioned Ben White. Why is Ben White so highly valued while Chelsea players are not highly valued? Why is that?
English tax.
I think it's because in the Ben White situation, while they are selling him, they don't need to sell him. And I think Tammy's situation.
So, Andrew, when I said Ben White, I'm just being generalizing.
No. I'm just trying to say, like in Ben White's, like a player like Ben White, while the club will sell, they're not actively selling. We're not active. We haven't officially said we sell Tammy, but I think it's unofficially we're looking to sell Tammy. Do you know what I mean? And therefore, it's like I agree with you. Even if we officially sell him, I don't 35 million for 40 words it's good money. I think that's still low for a guy who has scored goals in the Premier League. Okay, 2 seasons running, and I don't know why we sometimes undersell players and overprice other players.
Right.
But for me, the Barkley situation is, I think we got between 10 and 12 million last season for a loan for Barkley, right? So anything over that now, you're going to make a profit on Ross Barkley, okay? Because we signed for 15. I just think while we always look for a deal to buy players, I think we need to look at our strategy of how we sell players. So I think sometimes we undervalue our own players, which is very weird. And then you look at a player like Emerson, who you're right, he's not played a lot, and then somehow we're pricing him at 25 million euros.
It's about the sentiment and the PR.
Yeah, you're right. And it might be, that's what I mean, they might need to take like Bakayoko, right? We're probably going to make a profit on him with all the loans, but I read, and of course I always take everything with a pinch of salt, AC Milan were offering apparently 10 million euros. We want 15 million euros. And it comes to a point where you go, he's not going to sign a new contract. Yeah. We might just need to just take the 10 million.
Take a hit.
Do you know what I mean? Just take it. Get him off the books. Baba Rahman is earning nearly 100 grand a week. 100 grand a week.
I think
He's
That's
played
criminal.
Like,
Danny
8
Drinkwater,
games
man.
in 6 years.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? It's like, get them off. Start. Listen, you boast about how many deals you make, like the Travago deal you've just done. Just some of these guys, you are going to have to take a hit on because you'd have to pay people to take some of these players. We just strategize better. Ones that you look like Danny Drinkwater. I know it sounds ridiculous what I'm going to say. Pay him off. There's no one's going to pay him.
Get him off the
true,
books.
mate.
It's
Yeah,
120 grand a week. It's
Yeah,
120 grand a week. And it's just pointless. It's like we're still paying for 2017 again.
Yeah.
Remember that there's a picture of all them signings put together. It's probably the worst transfer window any club has ever done.
But do you know what? At the same time, we make a lot of money off them players just for loaning them, and that's something that that's one thing that Chelsea have managed to get right. We've got the biggest loanee project in England at the moment in terms of the players that are out.
But they're going to clamp down on that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
They're
say.
clamping down on that.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I agree. It gets to a point where we just need to get them off the books. So you look at the players that we're bringing in, the amounts they're going to cost us to do so, the wages that we're going to need to pay on a weekly basis. You're going to have to offload, and people like Bakayoko, people like Drinkwater. If anyone wants them, it doesn't matter what it is. Just sell them. They're the ones you just do not negotiate. You know what I mean? They're the ones you try to do. But I understand the whole. I think with Ross Barkley, if it was last season, if we sold him last season, I think we would have got more. I think we would have got 35, 40 million from him. But because he hasn't played this season for Villa that much, I just don't see him going for that. I think it'll be around 25, between 20 and 25.
And he's had another bar incident as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He's had another bar incident as well.
Yeah.
Seriously,
What year?
How many? How many?
always-
I mean, has he got a drinking problem? Do you know what I mean? Because he's still mixing.
He goes with the name, mate. Danny Drinkwater.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Him and Ross Barkley go out together. That's carnage, isn't it?
Guys, Manning saw.
Thing.
Manning saw. What do you guys
he's
think?
number one.
Is he staying? Is he going to be
No,
out on loan
no,
again?
he's gone. He's gone.
He'll never play for Chelsea.
I'm a big fan of Mancini, the defender. We've been linked to him as well.
From Roma.
Yeah.
Who, sorry,
yeah.
mate? Who?
Mancini, the
Mancini.
central defender
Roma.
from Roma.
Oh, Mancini. Oh, yeah.
It might be. I don't think they were going to get a centre back unless Zuma leaves. I know there's rumours, but
People will buy Zuma.
Do you guys think? Do you guys think we should sell Zuma?
I don't
Really,
want to see him. I know a lot of people do.
You know what? He's a sellable asset.
He is.
So I think
But do
we
we
will.
need to?
But
Do
not
we
at
need to sell
25
him?
million.
No, we don't need to sell
We
him.
don't need to sell him.
We don't need to sell
That would be a sale. If it's
He's
But
one of
does
those
he-
players where you need, like, look, is he going to maybe be always in a starting squad? No, but is he a player that could benefit our squad in the long run and the amount of games that we have? And he does bring some positives to the team. So, but it's one of those,
Yeah, I think based on
both ways.
based on the way Tuchel wants to play, I think we will sell him. I think he will be sold on.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
make the same point because
That's true.
he's not comfortable. He's never been
Ball
comfortable
players.
as a ball-playing centre back.
Yeah, but this is the thing that gets me with it, and I've said this so many times, right? We know that Kurt Zuma's weaknesses is his distribution, but we then switch to a back three, and then we ask him to play in a back three, which we know he can't do because why? He can't play out. But someone like a Christensen, a Rudiger, are more comfortable in a back three. Why? Because their strength is to distribute. Now, this is the question that I have with the Chelsea squad. When it comes to having to adapt and change and switch that formations, say we need to go to a back four, we sign a Haaland, we want to be more attacking, we want to go into a back four. That means we're going to play two centre backs. Now, I don't think Christensen, he might prove me wrong, is more comfortable playing in the back four than he is in the back three. As I think with Zuma, he probably suits the back four better, as we already know in the back three, because he's not asked to distribute, he's asked to defend. He's asked to defend his lines more, and that's why he plays better next to a Thiago Silva, for example, and did through parts of last season. So I just think we've got players that adapt well to different styles of systems. It's just whether or not they can be versatile enough to play different formations, and that's why I don't think getting rid of Zuma worked, because if we need to switch it up, he might be better in a different formation than the others that we've got.
I I want to
Yeah,
address.
and to be fair to
I want to
Zuma,
address
so-
one second, Max. I want to address the formation situation moving forward. In regards to the Wizard, we all believe that he will be staying on this season. We all believe that him
Yeah.
going. It's debatable. If a big amount is paid for him, then he'll go. But we think the Wizard is staying on. And the winner of the bronze medal is. Bobby.
Well done, Bobby.
That's what, Bobby.
Well done, Robert.
Appreciate you, Bobby. Appreciate you, Bobby. Lads, formation-wise, this season coming, because a lot of these transfers and a lot of these players coming or going or staying or being put on loan really depends on what Tuchel is going to do next season. Is Tuchel going to keep the 5 at the back system? Is he going to go back to the 4 at the back system? What is he going to do?
still
How
gonna
do you guys see
change
Tuchel?
Yeah.
Is he going to mix it up a little bit more? Because he hardly did that last season. I mean, last season he mixed it up within the match, within the game, but he didn't start off with 4 at the back. Do you guys think that we're going to see more diversity, more flexibility in the formation, or is it going to be pretty much the same as this season?
Depends if we sign Haaland, right? Because literally, you bring Haaland in, you're allowed to adapt to your formations better. If we don't, and we're still having the same problem, and we keep Tammy, and we've got Havertz playing as a false 9, and Werner playing sort of as a second striker, then I think he'll stick to what he knows and why it's and what's worked, and just hope we get through the season without getting found out where we start struggling through patches, through games. A bit like what happened with Conte. Do you remember when Conte played with his back three and we go and win the league? He switched it in December, didn't he, after the Arsenal game, and it worked. And then the season after, it just capitulated.
Found out.
Yeah, we got found out, and every team eventually gets found out, And I think it just all depends on who we bring through the door, more so Baggy than anything else.
Yeah, I had somebody. Yeah,
Go on.
I had someone saying that if Chelsea wins the Champions League, that we should stick with the back 5, and I'm not sure I agree with that. Just because we won the Champions League doesn't mean we should just go ahead and the 5 at the back is fine, because we're trying to win the Premier League now, and I don't think it could work. I'm not saying it can't work. We've seen it work before, but if we will stick with the formation, I think we need some personnel changes, and obviously Holland is part of that. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tuchel changes to a back 4. It just depends, The back 4 would be the ideal formation based on what I've been hearing. Tuchel prefers a 4-2-2. So maybe that's what we'll see, but yeah, I don't think it's a major issue if we stick with the back 5. But like Jem was saying, we can't let ourselves get found out. So he would have to change it, And we know that he's the caliber of coach to be able to make the changes that we need. So even in game, he changes the formation in matches. 4-1-4-1. Changes to a 4-5-2. So we know he can do that, and I'm just really curious to see if we stick with it or if we change. But I'm expecting us to change it.
Because I guess also if you notice, like he does rotate the squad. He likes to play around with his players and stuff. So I think he's gonna maybe I guess maybe with Tuchel it's gonna be quite challenging for other managers, because I think maybe he's. It's going to be one of those kind of guessing games for other teams, maybe. If we do get some of these signings, I think what Jem was saying before, yes, I think that's going to be important. But I guess other managers from other clubs are going to have to always be playing a guessing game, because with the likes of Chelsea have, especially in the attacking phase and midfield, we could switch things around. If we want to play this way, let's play that way. That's a good thing with Tuchel. He freestyles a bit. It's not only one man with one system. He can, because he's smart enough to adapt, and maybe that's one positive to take into next season. So then,
Alex,
Baggy, I want to ask you something, mate. Just quickly, we'll throw it back on you quickly. We signed Haaland. We let Tammy go. Giroud goes. Do you think that's good enough to go into next season without having a second or even a third striker, or do you see Werner as a second?
No, I think if that's going to be the case, then the second would be Havertz rather than Werner. But even that, for me, it's lacking, because we do need to have another true number 9. Just having one is not enough, and I don't see Timo Werner as a striker anymore. I did when we first bought him, but now I don't see him being a clear striker, a clear out and out striker. The issue is we are going to have a big season next season. You know, we're in multiple competitions. We are looking to win. We are looking to win the title.
Yeah.
And, going back to what Alex was saying, in regards to Tuchel and him being able to mix and match and change it. I mean, he is sticking with one formation, but he changed it so many times in the way that he played that formation. Even Pep was getting headaches. You know, I mean, Pep played us. What was it? 5 times this season, and we beat him 3 times.
3 times.
3 times.
3 times, yeah.
3 times, yeah. Okay, so it was hard. It was hard for Pep to understand what Tuchel was on about and what Tuchel was doing. And I can't believe this, but Winter Surfer has become the 4th member of Baggy TV. Welcome to the Baggy crew, Winter Surfer. Appreciate you, mate. Appreciate you.
Excellent, mate.
Let's see if we can make it 10 today. Let's see. And I'm pushing my luck. I'm pushing my luck. Now, initially I was saying I've already got 1, so let's get someone to get the silver medal, and then we did, and then bronze medal, and then we did, and now, 4th place. So let's see who'll be the part of the first 10. But yeah, cheers with the surf. I appreciate you, Andrew, mate. Jeb, you were saying, mate.
What was we switching on? We was talking about what was the conversation?
Listen, mate. I'm just gobsmacked that Adam became a member. I forgot what we were talking about. Sorry, Andrew. My bad.
I've been called worse. It's fine. Don't worry.
Not by me. I hope.
No.
Chelsea perspective. Welcome to the stream. How are you, my man?
I can't complain. Big up, everybody.
Big up, Chelsea.
Big up, Kachila. Kachila, we're just been talking about everything that is Chelsea, from formations, from tactics, from players. There's one topic I'm leaving towards the end, and that is the Declan Rice situation. Because I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. It's
the grand finale.
Grand finale, yeah. So I've been pushing it. I'm thinking, what shall we talk about for the last half an hour? And I thought Declan Rice. Kachila, if you want to start us off with that,
With what Declan Rice?
Yeah.
Okay, as you already know, I have a series called Scouting for Chelsea, and somebody chose Declan Rice, and I asked him, "Are you sure you can defend this?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, I'm good to go." And when I brought up Chomeni's statistics, he couldn't actually justify his argument that Chelsea should sign Declan Rice. I mean, Rice, I appreciate him coming on and advocating for Chelsea to sign Declan Rice. It makes for a good argument, but at the end, I wasn't really happy the way. I'm not sure he left his studio happy, because obviously most people just it takes a few games for people to jump to conclusions that a player is good enough to play for Chelsea. And now I'm an entertainer, and somewhat also I have to be objective in what I do. I'd say Declan Rice is not good enough for Chelsea. There are other options that are far better statistically and otherwise. I don't know how else to put it to not come across as not as if I'm hating on him, because there are strong points like his connection with Chelsea, his relationship with some of the players we have at the club, and his experience in the Premier League, which is not a guarantee, because there's been instances of players switching clubs within the Premier League and end up not living up to expectations. So, yeah, for me, no, it's a no for me.
Wow, nice one.
Kachila, listen. I want to ask you this: Is it no because of his price tag, or is it no because he's not Chelsea material? Full stop.
Two of them, actually, 50-50 both.
Okay.
in
Can
terms
I ask a question?
in the financial aspect, I mean,
Mm.
why are you even anything north of 50 million pounds? I think is too much for me for Declan
Where
Rice.
Declan Rice is now in terms of his progression as a footballer doesn't merit his 80 million pounds price tag,
Exactly.
and that all it is. That is all it is. If
It's
he's
true.
priced at
Yeah.
40 or 45 million, I would say have a crack. I don't
Yeah.
see why you bring in
Yeah.
a midfielder like that, who we know is not going to get in front of Kante, Jorginho, or even Kovacic. He's going to be a rotation. He's going to be rotated in and out of games just to sit on the bench and spend 90 million or 80 million. That makes no sense.
Exactly. And there's something
Yeah.
else we seem to forget. We have a problem that we haven't solved yet. We don't have we have a very low contribution in terms of assists from our midfielders. We also have low goals contribution from our midfielders. Jorginho, who is our highest goal scorer, all his goals came from penalty spots. So we need to be aiming to solve that problem and not just sign a player because we heard that player is good, or because of a few videos we watched on YouTube, or maybe a few games we see the player perform. It takes so much to scout a player, not just in the Euros or just the Premier League. You know, you have to see them perform on the international stage, on the domestic stage, and big games and something like that. So, yeah,
Yeah. Wow. That's I feel like you made the conversation very you expanded it a lot now, and what you just raised there, we could go for a long time on that, because I feel like we might need to change the formation entirely to get more goals from the midfield. So, but I just wanted to ask about Declan Rice first of all. You said he's not good enough. I understand it. I understand about the price. But who would be a better option right now as a DM? Do you think we should wait, or do you think there's a better option?
Can I ask you this? Declan Rice played against Billy Gilmour in the Euros, and Gilmour won the man of the match. In that same game, he actually outplayed the entire England midfield.
No,
and
he
now
hadn't,
you
Julius.
sent Billy Gilmour out on loan, and you're telling me you pay anything north of 50 million, even 40 for that?
Yeah,
I'm not removing this comment until I
No,
give Julius a
remove it, 'cause
chance to
it's
discuss
hurting
it.
my eyes right now.
I want him to explain it. I want him to explain it.
He's not world class. Not for
You
me.
ask him which world he's referring to.
Not world class.
Good point. Julius, mate. Julius,
Yeah,
mate.
Julius
Explain.
really needs him. And
Explain.
I know he meant
Explain.
it, right? He means
Yeah.
Explain. Go on, Julius.
First, I want to comment on the game where Billy Gilmour won man of the match. It wasn't that Declan Rice was bad, and it wasn't because Billy Gilmour destroyed Declan Rice in the midfield. The whole English team was bad that game. There was no balance, and that's another proof, in my opinion, that's going to go a little bit on the Euros, that Southgate is clueless as a manager. But regarding Declan Rice, in my opinion, he is. And look, I could be wrong. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say it that in a way that, oh yeah, it is what it is. No, I'm saying, in my opinion, when I watch Declan Rice as a midfielder, I see glimpses of John Terry, even though he's not playing as a centre back. But I see glimpses as a John Terry, with the way he distributes the ball, with the way he leads the pack, with his touch, with his passes, with his tackles, and just imagine playing. He's carrying West Ham. If you talk to any West Ham fan, Declan Rice is the best player at West Ham. Look at him in a big game like the final in the Euro. He destroyed the Italian midfield, straight up. And yeah, he destroyed the Italian midfield. He was the best player on the English team until he got subbed off. So,
no, I actually have to. I agree. I think when Declan Rice came off, I was thinking like, why are you taking Declan Rice off? He was actually having a good game.
But wait, my problem is Julius has just said he's world class. Julius, Julius,
No, he's not world class.
1 second, Julius. N'Golo Kante is world class. Are you putting him in the same bracket as N'Golo Kante now?
no, because N'Golo Kante is legendary.
Good
You
one,
can't
good
do
one.
it. So what you're saying is everyone's got their own brackets of what world class is. Yeah, okay.
I'm
Julius,
ultimate, guys.
you
I'm
know one thing
ultimate.
I agree with you,
Yeah.
Julius. Do you know one aspect of his game that I agree with you? His leadership quality. He has great leadership qualities.
What about his tackling, though?
He's very vocal. Whenever he's on the pitch, he's very vocal. He talks to his teammates, and that's great to see. That's one thing he has that I like so much. And the truth is he a good player? Yes, he is a good player, but I'm telling you the truth. There are other options that will better suit our style of play than
Yeah,
Declan
can
Rice.
you
And
can you say
if we sign him now, Julius, let me ask you this question: who do you pair him with in the midfield if we play 2 6s?
He likes playing with Kante.
Yeah.
If you
What's the play
play
with
with
Kante?
Kante, that means you will basically sacrificing the way we play. They're like for like, they're almost the same thing. They don't
Chelsea
have too much of a
Chelsea
difference.
perspective? You said there are better options, right? There are other
Yeah.
options.
Yeah, in terms
So
of what we need.
okay, so what are these options?
I'll give you an example. Chomeni is a better option in terms of what we need.
Okay.
Kamara from Marseille, 15 million.
Kamara.
Why not give
Yeah,
him a
and
shot?
even
You know,
cheaper.
you ain't gonna
And
lose, are you,
you
with 15
compare-
mil?
Sadly, if you compare the statistics, he's better than him on so many aspects of the statistics. So I'm not just saying it because I've done my research before.
Are you
Playing
are you
in
willing
Mighty Mouse
to
League
yeah
better than him on stats playing in a crap league. That's
are you
not
willing
fair.
to take the risk with the league?
It's got better though, Julius. To be fair to the French
We
league, the
have to
French league
consider
is a
what
good
we
league.
need. We can't just sign a player because we feel like he's good enough or because he plays like Kante. And bear this at the back of your mind. Should we sign Declan Rice at this point? Like Baggy mentioned, you'd pair him with Kante, which again I mentioned you'll be sacrificing how we play. We need a regista the way we play right now. We need somebody who can keep the ball very well.
Jorginho,
especially
basically.
in that aspect.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
pair
but
them
if
both, we'll still play good, but we're sacrificing the way we play.
I will
yeah,
say this. I will say
yeah.
this. I'm loath to. I hate comparing other players. So immediately when Julius said he tackles like John Terry, it just gave me. you know when someone tries to convince you 2 + 2 = 5. My brain couldn't compute it. So I know what Julius means. Like you might tackle him, but I just hate to compare him.
not
He's already,
John Terry.
No, I'm not comparing. I'm not. I said he gives me
If he gives you
vibes.
vibes, even if he
Yes.
gives you vibes, to me, he's already on a loser if he gives you vibes of John Terry. With that. I know, I understand what you're saying. I just think, though, if you're spending £80 million on a defensive midfielder, and for me, I still think he needs improvements in areas, and I don't know whether he'll reach them improvements. So I'm not spending £80 million on
Exactly.
a player I think needs improvement. Because if you spend £80 million a DM, they're near the finished article. Yeah?
100%.
They're also going to start every game. They're going to be the first name in that midfield if they're £18 million.
Yeah,
Okay?
in my
And
yeah.
we don't need
What
them.
makes it? What makes
Don't
it?
need them.
Well,
18 million,
yeah.
18
What
million
makes it
for
even?
one
What
assist
makes
or
it? What makes it weird as well? This is not a Chelsea type deal for me. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's like they all, even like with the Kai Havertz, they always try and sniff out a deal. Do you know what I mean? And paying £80 million straight up or near enough that amount, it doesn't sniff like a Chelsea deal.
No, for me, I don't think the club will pay that much money. It reminds me of the Chilwell thing. The Chilwell thing about Chilwell for 80 million. We were never going to pay 80 million for Chilwell, so I think it will be less. I think it'll be like 60 million
45,
max.
man.
Also, I think West Ham fans, if you asked them last season, I know Declan Rice played well, but I think they might say that Souček was more important last year for them.
Yeah, you know the guy from
as well.
the player from Brighton. I think I like him as well.
Let
I
me
think
ask this
Bissouma.
question. Listen. Chelsea offer 45-50 for Declan Rice. West Ham are going to reject it. Is Declan Rice going to kick up a fuss, or is he going to just leave it?
Depends if he wants to play for Chelsea, doesn't it? If he wants Chelsea, then he pushes it, doesn't he? I mean, he's turned down 2 contracts already that West Ham have offered to him because he's only getting paid, is it 60 or 70,000 a week, which is all right. Don't get me wrong, for their best player is quite small, isn't it? Let's be serious. So, I think it's in Declan Rice. I think what Chelsea should do is go, look, this is all we're going to offer for him. If it's 50, 45, and then leave it to the ball in the corner of Declan Rice and say, look, let's see how much you want to play for us. Because if he wants Chelsea, then money won't be a problem.
We're not desperate to have him. We're not in a need of like in that particular position to having to. Okay, we need him, so we're not desperate to having to get him. Like besides the positions we have, like Jem said before, he's not going to get in front of Jorginho. He's not going to get in front of Kante. I don't think he's going to get in front of Kovačić. So it's one of those things like you wanting to spend all that money on a player that you might not be your key starter, and it's not a position where Chelsea are really in need for at the moment. Besides,
I think the fact that they sent Billy Gilmour out on loan is a statement to West Ham that we're not really desperate for playing that position. Because we've just done that. So
He's got 3 years left, plus they can add on an additional year. The only way he gets 50 million. The only way he gets to Chelsea is if he goes AWOL. Do you know what I mean? Then as fans, do you want to sign? I know we'd go mad if it was our player doing it. Do you want to sign a player that does that?
That does that.
Yeah, because he's doing it for the love of the club. He's not doing it.
I totally understand.
Do you know what the other reason?
Loads of baggage, then, doesn't he? It's like.
He's not that kind of player.
For Chelsea as well,
he's not,
is you get Declan Rice and he doesn't start, but we could all agree that he needs progression. He needs game time to improve his game. So why are we going to bring in a DM that we know is not going to get us the minutes that he needs to progress and have the same issue as we did with someone like a Cho, who supposedly is top player to a lot of Chelsea fans, but
we would
hasn't had
have
the
to
opportunity to progress. Do you know what I mean? I just got this vibe that it's going to be more like a Ross Barkley thing. You know, when we bought Ross Barkley in, and we was like, he's going to play a couple games here and there, and then all of a sudden it just fizzes out and he goes out on loan, and that's it. I've just got that feeling.
I really disagree. I actually think Declan Rice is going to be starting. He is.
Who's he benching though?
He'd have to for 80 million.
Who's he benching?
He's benching Kante because Kante is going to be old soon. No, listen to me. Let me just explain my point of view.
Julius, calm down.
You mean injuries and whatnot, Julius?
Sorry?
Injuries? You think Kante is going to be injured and he needs to be treated where he plays a couple of games, has a couple of games.
No, he said he's going to bench Kante. Why is he going to bench Kante?
Well, because of injuries. Because of potential injuries, we did have Kante available many times this season, and we had him on the bench because we want to use him in bigger games or more important games. To have Declan Rice there at such a young age, being really close with the squad, specifically with Mason Mount, there is a lot of not only from the football side that I really highly rate him, even from the human side, I think there is a lot of bonuses and benefits from him being with us at the squad, and I really do not understand the hate this guy gets when he really loves the club.
It's not hate. It's not hate.
Not you guys. I'm saying that social media in general. He gets a lot of hate. People want to troll him and stuff.
But Julius, what you're relying on is N'Golo Kante to get injured throughout the season for Rice to get his opportunities. That don't work. That's my issue with it, and I don't think Tuchel. If N'Golo Kante's fit and he's passed to play a game, he starts for me. He's one of the first players on the pitch. You don't buy
exactly. You don't buy a player for 80 million pounds or even.
He's not going to be 80 million, boys.
Yeah, okay. So even if let's say it's 50 million pounds, you don't buy a player for 50 million to sit on the bench and come on when someone gets injured.
So he's not going to put him on the bench. He could play with Kante as well. I really don't see an issue with playing with Kante because Kante proved many times that he can go forward.
So that means Jorginho would have to miss out then.
We need a register in the way we play. We sincerely do need a register.
The only way, in my opinion, the only way Rice will play a lot is if we change the midfield. If we play a 3-man midfield, then Rice could play a lot. But if we don't, then I can't see it happening.
Julius, just go to Tesco's and get rice, mate. It's cheaper. You don't need to get 8 million pounds worth of rice, mate. Trust me, it's tastier as well. Let it, baby. Tell him.
The other thing that is Rice could be used as a centre back too.
And other than his price tag, being an England international, I don't see Rice accepting the fact that he will be sitting on the bench even for a few games, not even throughout the season.
No, Kachila, I disagree. Kachila, I disagree because I think Declan Rice coming to Chelsea, it's more than just him playing for a club. It's him playing for a club that he has
his boyhood club.
So boyhood club. So he'll be a little bit more flexible, I reckon.
Can I ask you this question? Don't get offended. Did you speak with Rice and he told you that?
No.
Thank you.
But you can make Kachila, you can. I understand. But what I'm saying to you is, Kachila, is you can base your opinion on experience and you can base your opinion on things that have happened in the past. And what we've seen in the past, players who have a bond, who have a relationship with a particular club, will be more inclined to sacrifice certain things for that club. And I think that's why Julius is comparing him to John Terry.
Can I respond to that?
Go on.
That is a very, very solid argument that he had a good relationship with some of the Chelsea players and also his connection to Chelsea. But it's a human thing that the way he was let go, we're just speculating, we're just voicing our opinions. With the way he was let go, there's that possibility also that he would want to go, he would rather go to Manchester United or other rival clubs to show Chelsea, look at, you made a mistake by letting me go.
No, because
but he hasn't done that.
None of us have spoken to Declan Rice.
Not that we spoke with him, but I remember on the terrace, Terry had one of the journalists. Terry had one journalist, I can't remember his name, and he said if two offers came on the table, Chelsea and Man United, he's gonna pick Chelsea over United any day. And that's a very trustworthy journalist.
If he goes to Man United, he walks into that squad and starts for me because he's better than McTominay and he's better than Fred. When he comes to Chelsea, he's fighting for his position, you know, and it's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But with Declan Rice, I've got this feeling, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I feel like he wants Chelsea more than Chelsea want him. If that makes sense.
I agree with that. I agree with that as well.
I agree.
Yeah. It's not top priority.
Yeah.
It's not top
Exactly.
Apparently, he is though. That's like
but you see, that's the weird bit. See, the thing is this. We all thought it was Mason Mount pushing Lampard to bring in some Rice, and then Lampard goes, but then Chelsea are still looking to get some Rice. And it's a bit of a weird one. I mean, there's other dishes out there, you know, that taste better than rice.
Noodles, man. Get some noodles down here.
But Fabrizio Romano said that Declan Rice and Haaland are the two priority targets for Chelsea. So even Tuchel apparently has them as a priority signing, or Chelsea as a club.
For me, if that's the main thing. If Tuchel wants him, I won't be arguing. You know, I won't have an issue with that. We will have to just trust Tuchel and see what happens.
If he comes to the club, I'll back him.
Listen. Does Tuchel want him, or is Tuchel being given an option of 3 or 4 different DMs? Let's say to him, pick one. And he's picking Declan Rice because he thinks, you know, this guy's already in the Premier League. He's already done it in the Premier League. He's my best option. Maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say, and from what I understand as well, if Haaland was to say come in, I don't know if you guys have heard it as well. They won't get Haaland and Rice in the same window.
No,
it'll be one or the other.
Yeah.
So if everyone wants all out for Haaland, then I think Chelsea are going to go all out and get Haaland, and that could be our transfer business over and done with for the season.
We shouldn't even be comparing the signing of Rice and Haaland anyway.
Exactly.
We shouldn't. No.
It's exactly Haaland all the way, mate.
Have you seen the comments?
Go on, Eric.
Have you seen the comments?
No, where? Which one?
The last one, I think, from FIFA.
Chelsea sent off the bid. Check Fabrizio Romano's tweets, people. Has he said that? Have a look.
The bid.
It could be someone blooming trolling. Let's see. Nah, if it did, my phone would be going mad right now. I know that.
There's nothing on there.
Why would it be at this time of the night? Also, you know.
He does do little mad ones. I'm gonna lie.
Yeah, he
But
does. He does.
It's fake news, man. He's trolling. I knew he was trolling this guy.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to just say something. Kachila, in regards to what we know and what we assume, a lot of what we talk about is assumptions made on what we've heard and what we've read. No one here knows exactly what is going on, and if we did, we would be seeing a lot of here we goes right now. But we're not seeing that because we're all assuming, we're all thinking, we're all thinking out loud. In regards to Declan Rice and what he is going to do, what he has done, it's no. Let me just finish, Kachila. So, in respect to that, we're going to be making assumptions, and I'm not saying I'm right, you're wrong, or no. What I'm saying is everyone is going to have a different perception of a situation based on what experiences they've had. In regards to Chelsea Football Club and a lot of the English players who have gone through the academy, they will always have that bond. Even some of the players that have come into Chelsea and have only spent a very short time at Chelsea, they've gone away and they still have that bond. And the likes of Alex, Oscar, Crespo, and others, they were here for a period of time. And even though they've left, Chelsea is the club that they talk about the most, even though they played for other big clubs in their career. So the fact that Declan Rice was an academy lad, the fact that he has a very good mate or mates at Chelsea, we are likely to see him push for a move to Chelsea. We are likely to see him come to Chelsea and even sacrifice certain things to stay at Chelsea and to succeed at Chelsea. And we saw that with Mason Mount. A lot of us thought Mason Mount was gonna have a hissy fit or he's gonna run to a different club after Lampard left. But no, he stayed and he fought for it, and he has achieved some very, very good successes with Chelsea in the time that Lampard has left, and he will continue to do so. So I just want to give you that point of view, and I'll let you respond if you want to say something.
I've got to shoot, guys. I just let quickly before you go into it. But thanks for having me on. Thank you.
All right, Jim. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Take care.
Thank you.
Sorry, Kachila, go ahead, mate.
If we all agree, this will not be fun. When learned people talk, when they argue, there's always let me call it a debate, and that shows that we're all in. We see things. If we see things the same, that means we're making a big mistake. And hopefully, you didn't get a kick out of that. I don't mean to come across as insulting to you. It was just
no.
You understand? You make a great point. We all see things. We're all making assumptions based on what we see. We come to conclusions from what we see. We say, okay, I think it is like this. I think it is like that. And the truth is, one person is right and the other person is wrong. But we don't know until that thing happens. So my apologies if I come across to you as insulting or maybe
no need to apologize. No need to apologize,
hopefully
mate.
That's not the case.
No, it wasn't the case.
It's not debate. It's not nice to be nice to each other the whole time. I like debates.
This is about this is why we love football. Football's about debating and everything. So.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And
that's why it's a debate and we're not shouting at each other.
Yeah, no, and Kachila, you make some valid points. You make some great points, and I'm always happy to hear your point of view on my channel. And I just wanted to clarify in regards to Declan Rice. It's a funny one, and to be honest, there's even a funnier one, which is the one that we opened up with, which was Erling Haaland. Listen, lads, this stream is about to hit 2 hours. It's been fantastic. It has been fantastic. I've got some new members on my channel. Andrew, Bobby. I'm trying to remember who was the second one.
Was it something beginning with F? Was it Fabio?
Yeah.
Fiasco, I think.
Yeah. I'll give you a shout out in the comments once I give your name again. Yeah. So respect to everyone. Listen, I've been reading all the comments I've got in the chat. Great comments, great points of view, great opinions, and I've seen some great debates in the chat as well as in the panel. So thank you to everyone. I will be making streams on the regular. Hopefully every day, if not every other day. So make sure you've subscribed to Bagger TV and turn that bell notification button on to get that notification. So big up to everyone. And the Winter Surfer, first time on Bagger TV. Great lad, great debate. So thank you for coming on. Appreciate you,
No
mate.
problem, man. Thank you, Baggy. Anytime.
So,
Have a good day,
Baggy,
guys.
just one quick.
Yeah.
Thing. I just had a tweet. I don't know. It's just tweets just come saying that Chelsea apparently are gonna throw Tammy Abraham in a deal for Haaland, a monster deal for Haaland. It's just got a tweet that just came. How much of that is true? I don't know.
Who
That's all I'm gonna
tweeted
say.
it? Who's the source? Who's the source?
I've got to go. If I come off it, I'll cut you. I'll tweet it. I'll retweet it across so you can see it when
Alright.
it comes up, mate.
Alright.
Because I'll cut off you
Alright.
otherwise.
All right.
Yeah, listen, lads. Make sure you have me on your Twitter feed. That's mkasim at Baggy TV. All right, so follow me, and you'll be getting news on there as well. So have a good one, lads. Thank you for being here, Kachila, Julius,
Excellent being
Alex, Eric,
No worries, no
DJ,
worries.
Right,
Bobby,
excellent being
Jem, Max Burton, everyone who took part. If I've forgotten anyone, I apologize. Have a good one, lads. Take care.
Cheers for having us on, bro.
Cheers.
Take care,
Peace.
everyone. Good night,
See you
everyone.
later.
Yeah, no,
Bye, guys.
it's a pleasure.
Big
It's a
up,
pleasure.
everyone.
Peace out, guys.
It was
Big up.
Big up,
a
everyone.
good
Peace out.
debate.